Hello, world. Welcome back to Cup of Wisdom with Jesus and Coffee, a place where the faith is brewed fresh daily. And as my motto, pour yourself a cup and stay a while. I want to welcome everybody to Cup of Wisdom with Jesus and Coffee. Today it will be a little different. I usually do auto, but today I am doing a recording. First of all, because I was spirit led, and I also feel like that I should be seen when I'm when I'm speaking this. But let's jump into the message. Today I'm going to be speaking on building the kingdom of God, which we all can be a part of. But as we're doing this, not holding limitations on what God can do. So let's talk about it. Now we can all help build the kingdom of God. We are all here to help each other on this faith journey. I am here to empower, to encourage, and to uplift, including myself, to build us all on this journey. My purpose is to bring light into dark spaces and places in this broken world with an attempt to form hearts that are filled with God's kingdom so we can all help build the kingdom and do the ultimate thing. What matters the most is to bring God to glory. So when we build God's kingdom, the purpose is to help bring others into relationship with God and to reflect his love. And once again, we can all help build God's kingdom. And it does not have to be in a huge way. It can be in our everyday, mundane moments that we can help build God's kingdom. But what we tend to do, because we're human, we can tend to limit God on how he chooses to get things to us to help us build someone else or to help us build others. And I say this because many times on what we have been taught in the past and how we view things, we divide things, let's see how to put this, we divide things into what one thinks is holy and what one thinks is worldly, believing that God can't move in both areas. But as believers, we must understand that God can and will use anything and anyone at any given time to get his point across in order for him to receive the glory. So we can't continue or even start to box God in and have him in this little narrow space because he is so much bigger than that. As believers, we have to believe what God can do, where he can do it, and how he can do it just because he's God. Again, we can't box God in to only coming in a specific way or in the same way. Doing this could cause us to miss what he is showing. Because in our minds, we are only looking for him in what looks holy to us. And yes, and I put holy in quotation marks because God moves in it all. But we must understand that he can work anywhere because he is everywhere. God is open to it all without any limitations. And I'm going to give an example. When we can't or when we don't, and I said can't and when we don't want to accept a message or a sign from God that is given through someone that your mind thinks that doesn't look like they are from God, or you wouldn't think that God would send a message from them. And I'm going to use a simple example. And I'm going to say someone that has a foul mouth, someone that maybe that cusses a lot. So you automatically dismiss anything they say because your carnal mind tells you that God would not use them because they cuss too much or the way they speak. Even though it may not be good or correct, but your mind tells you, okay, God wouldn't use them. At that point, you're boxing God in. You're boxing God into what he can do and how he can do it. But all along, God could be giving you an answer through them, an answer that you have been looking for. but you missed the puzzle piece that was thrown at you because you have put limitations on how God can move and who he can use. And therefore you missed the whole opportunity because God gave it to you, but because your carnal mind doesn't think that God can do that, but God can do all and far more than what we think he can do. This is that human limitation where when we try to limit God to our comprehension and to our desires. But when we do this, we miss the experience because he exists beyond our logic and beyond our time. We can't just fit God into our personal preferences. He doesn't work like that. He doesn't work on our time. Now, 1 Corinthians 10:31, and it states, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. So we must be able to see the presence of God in everything we do so that we can be capable and we can correctly help build up the kingdom of God. And we can help build up the kingdom of God, like I say, in any mundane moments. It doesn't have to be anything massive. It could be in your work, in your school, in your daily living, in your ministry, in your friendships. The list goes on and on. Those are only a few. But our life must become the place where the kingdom grows. We can't continue to place God only where we want him, because we are not only limiting God, we are limiting ourselves on how he speaks to us, how he reaches us, because we only think that he'll come this way. We only think that he'll come through something that looks holy. We only think that he'll come through this person or that person, not this person, because of what they're done, what they have done, or their past. But you can't limit God. You have to be able to see God in everything and anyone at any time. We can't continue to place God only where we want him. Because again, we are limiting not only him, you are limiting yourself from opportunity and experiences. And God doesn't follow our rules. We follow how he moves. Again, God doesn't follow our rules. We must follow how he moves. We can't make God manageable to fit us. This restricts our experience of him and how good he truly is. And literally, we miss him. We miss the moment. We miss what he was trying to show us because of what your carnal mind is telling you that God wouldn't do. But who are we as humans to say what God can't do? So with that being said, never let anyone tell you that God wouldn't work this way. He wouldn't tell you to do that. He wouldn't move this way. He wouldn't speak through that person. He wouldn't speak at this time, because he has no limitations, and we have to be open so we don't literally miss him. So if you are in this space, this is something that you must surrender rather than trying to control and make God fit in your life. We don't have to only believe in the things that God can do, but we must actually know that God moves how he moves for our good. Knowing that, and we must know that his ways are better and greater than our ways. And it's not about how we feel about it. It's not about how it looks. It's not about that. And to be honest with you, God, not to say that he doesn't, I want to seem like he doesn't care. But he gonna move how he wants to move. No matter if you think that he wouldn't speak through somebody else or through this situation, through this event, through that person, through this time, he's going to move how he wants to move. But just remember, it's all out of love and it's all for your good. Now, Ephesians 3:20 tells us about God's limitless power that exceeds human expectations. So we must use that as a declaration, of confidence, knowing that our Father is all powerful in all areas without human limitations. So don't box God in. Don't box God into what he can do, because he is limitless and he is everywhere. Continue to open your eyes to God every day in everything that you do. So right now today, let's take the limits off of God. Let's not limit him to how he can speak to us, how he can move, how fast or swiftly he can do something in our lives. Let's not limit him. Let's just expect him. Let's just expect the unexpected from our Father. Let's take the limits off God and allow him to help us build the kingdom, trusting his perfect process. And again, looking for his presence in any and everything, because he can do just that. He can move in anybody. He can move in anything, any day, at any time. So I just want to encourage you that if you're in this space, to open your eyes to the bigger perspective. Don't have God just in your narrow perspective, where he can only move here, he can only move like this. And he's been speaking to me like this, and this is how he's going to continue to speaking to me, because that's not always true. Just because he speaks to you this way, you could be still sitting here waiting on God to speak to you this way. God has moved. And if you don't move with him to hear him, you'll still be sitting here waiting on him and he's not even there. And you'll miss him. So don't limit God. He is bigger and he is greater. And whatever he does out of love, because he loves each and every one of us. He does it out of love, and he does it for the greater good. It may not look good at the moment, but it's for your good. That is it. I hope this encouraged someone. I hope it uplifted someone. That is all I have for today. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Cup of Wisdom with Jesus and Coffee. And until next time, I truly love you all with the love of Christ. Bye-bye.